I've finally made some progress. I'm able to move forward with my installation. Another week, another list of tasks for this self-home build that I've been building from scratch for the last few years. The first year was land development and bringing in utilities, and the second year has been getting the walls up and the rough-ins into this home. If you're into the DIY journey, I post a new video every Sunday. Subscribing and liking and sharing is a huge help. Last week I left you off being approved to move forward with insulation, which is really exciting. I wasn't sure how long this was going to take because I'm actually not past my framing final because I have one change that needs to be approved still to the peak outside the front door. You always think you're ready to go, but there's still a bit more work left to be done, and I probably will add to this list by the end of the week. First up, I finally have my kitchen design finalized, and I need to run the hood range venting. It's so hard to see where everything's going to be, but our oven is going to be right here, which means the venting either needs to come through this spot or this spot. Then it's gonna run to the soffit, and there's already a lot going on over here. It is the Wild West up here. There's barely any room to get over. I have the exhaust coming out here. I think I'm going to bring the oven vent through here. Oh my gosh, like there's no room. I don't know, like across this section and then an elbow and then down. This time around, I think I'm gonna dry fit it, then insulate it, and then actually put it together. I don't know. I'm gonna insulate it before I put it up though this time, before I officially put it where it's going to be. This is gonna be trickier than I thought. Do that, and then I can get it through that one. I'm gonna mark them so I know where to screw everything together, and then bring everything down, screw it all together, tape it all up. My daughter really wanted to do something special with me on my birthday, and so we went out and got manicures, which I don't do, but she's really into. And this is making it really tricky to do any sort of construction work today because you don't want to ruin a $50 manicure in a day. So she's into lots of really cool, adorable, girly things. And I like getting my nails done too, for sure, but I don't know how I'm gonna make these survive. The reason why I'm not going with flex ducting is because with the flex ducting, oil and grease can get trapped in between the ribs in like the plastic and metal flex ducting. So it's best to use this stuff here so that you're less likely to have a grease fire in your vent. Before I insulate that section, I'm going to dry fit is never wet. Anyways, I'm going to like pre-fit the next section to it, make sure it all works, and then take everything down. Then insulate it, then put it back up. I'll be working in sections, and I wish I was able to do that for the rest of my ducting and that I was told the proper information by the inspector that I had at the time, but it is the way it is, and now I can do better this time, and it was such a learning experience. It's a new day. I only did a little bit of work yesterday. I'm back at it. Time to get the next piece in, which means cutting this to let the pipe through. Huh. Oh, I put this on the wrong end. Time to get these up and into place. I basically have to bring this down as close as I can to the wall because the range hood like cabinet that's going here only goes to a certain height into the cathedral ceiling before it cuts off. So I'm just trying to make sure it's gonna fit right. Really hopeful it will. And then I'm gonna basically just have to cut it so that I can get drywall in behind it. And I might run flex ducting from there because I couldn't get the duct directly over the center. It's only out by like 4 inches maybe. It's these things that you don't really think about when you're designing the home, when you've never built a home. Like having an oven on an interior wall makes things significantly more difficult, having to duct it all out. Yay! Good morning. I wanted to share a little bit of context. It's Monday morning. Last week, it took me like 4 full days to do this hood venting. I only worked on it for like maybe 4 hours, but each day I ran out of a product, needed to get more in town. And then instead of working on the other things on my to-do list, I decided to take the week and plan and organize. And I find that is one of the most difficult things about this build is I can't just do the build. I need to do the research. I need to figure out what companies to buy from. So now it is a new week. I have insulation, fingers crossed, coming on Wednesday. And I just have some more things that I want to get done before I start insulating. One of them being blocking. All these things can be done later, but hey, I still have 3 days till insulation comes. I did my grab bar blocking everywhere I needed to do it, but I had some more comments. One saying, oh, you need to do TV blocking. One said to do blocking where the door opens so that if the door knob hits the wall, it doesn't like break the drywall. Thought that was pretty smart. That came from someone who said they swing a hammer for a living. So thank you for that. And I need to do all the drywall blockings. So the way I built my corners was in a way so that I wouldn't have to add blocking later. So I have a spot on each side to screw the drywall in, but I don't have any of my blocking along this side or along this side for the strapping to hold up the drywall. And this is where it's gonna kind of get a little bit annoying. I have to like put blocking every 16-inch center. But anyways, I'll start with the easy stuff this morning. The only thing is I wish I had done blocking before I had run my wires, because I could have just had the blocking go all the way along and drilled through the top plate, but now I have to work around the wires. So that's definitely something to think about before you do your wiring. Oh, we're too long. Officially, the drywall locking is done. It took me 5 hours, but it's done. I'm so glad this is over. Time to do wall mount TV blocking. And now for doorknob blocking. So far I'm getting lucky, I think. Doorknob will hit at around 29, and that's where a stud is. 29, again, getting lucky. I know this is overkill, I'm just using what I have. Officially, the blocking is done. 3 things off the to-do list today. I will see you tomorrow. I really need to weed attack my yard again, but tomorrow the insulation comes. I need to get to work. Okay, what I absolutely want done before I start insulation is to run the Ethernet cable. Locally, they only sold it by 1,000 feet. I was able to find it for 500 feet on Amazon of Cat 6. We're going to run it to our TV, to the office, to all the bedrooms, and maybe one in the living room. Might as well get our money's worth. Honestly though, I think it was $100 or less. So not too bad. We might not use this right away, but we're gonna have it as an option just in case we get a better internet out here. I'm just gonna run it straight to my utility room, and my goal is to not set up scaffolding. So I'm gonna run them as close to the window as possible so I can use a ladder. Because I have so much of this cable, what I'm going to do is pre-measure the runs that I need and do, you know, probably 10, 15 feet extra than what I need, just so that I'm not wasting my time. Not gonna lie, these spools look a little scary. I only wanna do my ladder setup once. Like, I have to get 3 lines across to the other side of the building, which means setting my ladder up the same way on repeat 3 separate times. And ladder setups, I find, are what takes so dang long sometimes, especially to get across the building and over to the other side. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but I'm very thankful I'm married to a musician, because there is a right and wrong way to wind up a cable, and the wrong way you'll get tangled every time, and the right way you should be better. And so it's working this time. I'm not 1,000% sure what I want to do over here to bring these into the utility room and where I want to bring them in. So I'm just going to leave this for now because that doesn't need to be dealt with quite yet. But I have run the Ethernet. I'll get the proper boxes for them and such, but at least it's run and in the right place.
And now it's time to clean up a little because insulation comes in the morning.
Insulation's here. Yay. It's a new day. I officially have all of my insulation. I am so excited. I am gonna get started today, but there's one thing I really wanna do before I get started, and that is to breathe love into this home and just spend some time just feeling all the good energy. And I wanna write some of the quotes down, some quotes that come from my heart, some of the quotes that you guys wrote. I just thought they were so beautiful. So I'm gonna listen to music, jam away. I'm gonna read some of them to you. Blood, sweat, and tears are in here. Steel, concrete, wood, and foam. To build a house takes all of these, but only love can make a home. I don't know if someone made that poem up, but I love it. Ian Welburn. Thank you for that. That's the kind of poem that my late granddad would have written. So I just love that. Sometimes you really have to take a moment and just breathe it all in. Like, of course, I'm gonna have lots of time to do that when I actually live in here, but I think there's something so beautiful about writing love into your home and writing positive quotes into your home. That was just such a lovely hour and a half of writing things, reading your comments. There's still more room. I'm gonna start insulating, but I can do interior walls if you had other ideas for quotes. I just thought that this was the best, especially in my daughter's room. I messaged family and got them to write out specific things that they wanted to write. And before I insulate her room, I'm gonna get her to read the quotes in her room. First things first, I just need to put the boxes in for the Cat 6. So first things first, I already know I made a big boo-boo doing this blocking. As you can see, it doesn't match up with the OSB line. And because we don't require blocking for our exterior walls, it doesn't matter that it doesn't touch this line with the OSB, nor do I care. What I do care about though, is that these bats are 47 inches. I thought they were 48 inches. I think the pink stuff might be 48 inches, maybe I'm wrong. But rock wool is 47. I set these blocks to be at 48. There's absolutely zero way I'm taking these blocks out, but I still have to figure out what I want to do. My three options are put the bats in. I either need to hammer the block down if it will let me, or put a 1-inch strip of insulation at the bottom, let's say, or fill with foam. And I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I don't know. Filling with foam is more expensive. Doing the 1-inch strip just seems like a lot of work to me. And then hammering them down, I'm hoping will actually work, but I'm just worried because I did use 2 to 3 nails on each side of the blocks. So I don't know. We're just gonna see what works. But first of all, we measure. This is at 34.5. Just look at the beautiful view in here. I don't think I'm ever gonna get tired of this. Cut it about halfway. And then this little gap eats the wire. Oh, that's quite the gap. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to smash that down. It's actually a little bit of a bigger gap than I thought it would be. It's about 1.5 inches. We're gonna just see how a little filler piece will go. And I think if I do the filler piece first on the rest of them, it will go a lot better. Like, how annoying, but honestly, it's quite the small house. I really don't think it'll take me that much time to fix it all up. I'm gonna pop that out a little, put this on top, and slide it back in. Okay. I think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna be the best bet. That works just fine.
And ChatGPT says it's actually okay to have seams in your insulation. You just want to make sure there's no gaps.
So this is 43. Cutting 2 strips off one piece leaves me what I need for the top stud bay. Yay! Let's get this room done. So I'm cutting around the wires for spots like this. I'm just opening up halfway in between the bat to shove the wire in between. And I'm cutting around the vapor boxes. Spots like this are a little bit tricky, and that's where blow-in insulation for the walls is a huge benefit. But I do love this rock wool. I find it nice and firm, whereas I find the pink stuff a little bit more tricky to work with. And the pink stuff I find more easy to push it in too far. All right, I started this time lapse at 1:42. This took me an hour and a half to do. I was soaring through all of the easy studs with just a wire in it. When it came to these guys, it took me a little bit longer, but I've gotten it to work. I'm taking my time to make sure the insulation is tucked in behind the boxes, in behind the wires in the right spots. This is honestly a little surreal looking at this wall right now, seeing no wires, not knowing where really anything is anymore. It's so cool seeing kind of like a flat surface. I cannot wait to get drywall up. What a difference it's gonna make. I didn't have a ton of time today, but I think I could potentially finish all of the main rooms tomorrow and then leave the vaulted walls for another day. But I need to make a late lunch. It's 3:30. Eat it quick, go pick up my daughter. So I will see you in the morning. Good morning. It's gonna be another day of insulating, but first I need to wake up. I've dropped my daughter off, and I've learned that my mornings can really depict my day, and I'm not quite a morning person. And I think my new morning routine is going to be spending time just watching some videos of the up and coming projects that are going to be happening. I've been watching a lot about doing self-leveler. I'm watching videos on drywall, on tiling a shower. There's so much to learn and only so little time. So it's about using my time super wisely. Since I can't seem to get my butt moving in the house in the morning, I might as well watch some learning videos before I get started on my day. And now I feel good and caffeinated, and it's time to get back to insulating. And unfortunately, when you're living in a trailer and building a home, there's not a lot of extra space to be storing your items. So there's a lot of stuff in here that we're keeping in here that I just need to move to be able to insulate this wall. So it's time to clean. We've also loved keeping our patio furniture in here. My husband plays his guitar and sings most evenings, which is really nice. So I need to keep a little space for him, or out at the patio. I guess I could put them back outside. Sometimes it's nice to just be inside in a big space, and it's those little things that you take for granted when you live in a regular sized home. We're really looking forward to this. Let's get this insulated. This wall should be a little bit easier than last. other than having to insulate around the header. But I think what I'll do there is I'll take a thing of insulation and just cut the back off of it and stick it against the header. One room officially done. I started this wall around 11 and finished around 12:30, so about an hour and a half again. I mean, like almost a third of the house is done. The maintenance room's done, master bedroom, half of the bathroom's done. Let's just finish that up. All right, 1/3 of the house is insulated. And there's a huge mess to clean up. Time for a little lunch. I'm gonna have to get back to it soon because with how I'm moving, I'm getting about a wall done per hour and a half. We'll see how the next room goes. Hopefully I'm a little bit quicker. All right, I almost got one more room done, but it's time to go pick up my daughter from her very last day of day camp for the whole summer. School for us in Canada starts after the September Labor Day weekend, and so I am off for a 3-day long weekend with my family, which is why I didn't post a regular video last Sunday. Super important to take that extra time with my family. I think my daughter has been missing me, so there you have it. I would say I'm about halfway done the walls, maybe a little bit less. And tune in next week. There's a lot more to get done. It is not just insulation. Nay. I can't even begin to explain to you how much work this is going to be. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. It's a huge help and pushes my content out to more people on YouTube. Same with liking and apparently clicking that share button and copying the link. All right, I will see you next week.